Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Radhika. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel. In today's video, we'll learn about brachial plexus. For this, we need to understand the structure of spinal cord first. So this is your spinal cord. We have took a cross section area of spinal cord. This is your gray matter and this is your white matter. Now, you know spinal cord which passes through your foramen magnum which is present. This is your vertebrae. And from here your spinal cord passes where you have a foramen for this, and this spinal cord gives you branches for spinal nerves. So we have cut the spinal cord in this way and we are taking a cross section area of spinal cord. So now first let us understand how brachial plexus are formed. For that we need to understand the structure of spinal cord first. So if you take this as spinal cord, now this is your gray matter, white matter, okay, this is your whole spinal cord. From here, the spinal cord gives rise to your dorsal root and ventral root. This is your dorsal root and this is your ventral root, okay. These two roots combine and form your spinal nerve. Spinal cord, this is your spinal nerve. Again, this nerve divides into dorsal ramus and ventral ramus. This is your dorsal ramus and this is your ventral ramus. So this is how spinal nerve, dorsal and ventral ramus are formed. Now, these ventral ramus of C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1, that is cervical 5, 6, 7, 8 and thoracic 1. By combination of these, your brachial plexus are formed. By ventral rami, by combining all the ventral rami of C5, C6, 7, 8 and T1, your brachial plexus are formed. So basically brachial plexus are 15 centimeters long, which lies here in your neck area as well as your axilla. So from spinal cord to your axilla, they are 15 centimeters long. So these brachial plexus give rise to your nerves which innervates, which supplies your upper limb. Okay. So the major nerves are your axillary nerve, radial nerve, musculocutaneous, ulnar nerve and median nerve. These are your major nerves which are formed by brachial plexus, and these nerves are responsible for your cutaneous, that is your sensory, and muscular, that is your motor innervations. It's very difficult to draw the structure of brachial plexus, but let me explain you in very simple way. So first we'll take the roots, then we'll go for trunks, then we'll go for divisions, then cords, and finally the branches. So first I told you, you have root from C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. So these are your root values C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. These are your ventral rami of these roots. Now C5, these are your roots, okay. Now this C5 and C6 combines and forms your trunks. These are your trunks. C5, C6 combines and form a trunk, C7 form a trunk, then C8 and T1 forms another trunk. So this trunk is your upper, middle and lower trunk. So these are your roots, and in this way your trunks are formed. Now coming to divisions, each trunk is divided into ventral and dorsal, ventral, dorsal, ventral, dorsal. So these are your divisions. Okay, these are your divisions. This is your ventral division of upper trunk, dorsal division of upper trunk, ventral division of middle trunk, dorsal division of middle trunk. But try to write first dorsal when coming to the lower trunk, so it will be easy for you to form the cords. Okay, so dorsal division of lower trunk, ventral division of lower trunk. Now these trunks combines and form your cords. How cords are formed? Now your first cord, that is ventral division of upper trunk and ventral division of middle trunk combines and forms your lateral cord. Okay. Now all your dorsal divisions, so trunks from upper, middle and lower, those dorsal trunks combine and form your posterior cord. Now the last ventral trunk forms your medial cord. I hope you understood this. First, you have roots from C5, C6 combines and forms your upper trunk. C7 forms your middle trunk, whereas C8 and T1 combines and forms your lower trunk. Okay. Now, these upper, middle and lower trunks are divided into ventral and dorsal divisions. Each of them are divided into ventral and dorsal divisions. Now, how cords are formed? From ventral division of this and this, that is upper and middle. They combine and form your lateral cord. Whereas dorsal divisions of all the trunks, upper, middle, lower, all the dorsals forms your posterior. Whereas the ventral division of your lower trunks forms your medial cord. Again, these cords are divided, give rise to your branches. You have branches, then these branches supplies to your various muscles. Let us come to the branches formed by your lateral, posterior and medial cords. So from lateral cord you have branch, that is lateral branch to lateral pectoral nerve, and major branch, that is musculocutaneous nerve. Then from posterior you have radial nerve, axillary nerve, and you have lower and upper subscapular nerves and nerve to latissimus dorsi. So from lateral cord you have nerves that are arising, those are lateral pectoral nerve, musculocutaneous nerves. Whereas coming to the posterior cord you have radial nerve, axillary nerve, lower and upper subscapular nerve, the muscles which are present below the scapula, and nerve to latissimus dorsi, which supplies your latissimus muscle. Then coming to the medial cord, you have major nerves, that is ulnar nerve, and the other nerves are medial pectoral nerve, medial cutaneous nerve of arm and forearm. So medial cutaneous nerve of arm and forearm. So these are the nerves arising from your cords. Now coming to the medial nerve, how it is formed? It takes like lateral cord and medial cord. This lateral branch of medial cord and medial branch of medial cord forms your medial nerve. So musculocutaneous nerve, radial nerve, axillary nerve, medial nerve and ulnar nerve, these are the major nerves of your upper limb. Coming to the injuries of these brachial plexus, like according to the area which is injured, you have different kind of paralysis to your upper limb. First one is obstetric palsy. In this you see during the time of delivery, when the baby's head is laterally rotated, if you are rotating the head and delivering the baby, then it causes the opposite side paralysis to all these nerves, and you have paralysis over your upper limb because these brachial plexus are supplying your upper limb, both cutaneous and muscular. Now you have a paralysis called Eppes paralysis. In that you see when there is an injury to your upper trunk which is formed by C5 and C6, then this injury to upper trunk causes your Eppes paralysis. You have seen in many people, like your hand is abducted and medially rotated, adducted and medially rotated, and you will be seeing the hand is placed in this way. So this is when there is an injury to the upper trunk. Okay, coming to the lower trunk injury, then you have Klumpke's palsy. In this you see that both your medial nerve and ulnar nerve, a part of medial nerve and ulnar nerve are damaged, and this medial part of pectoral nerve and branches which is supplying your cutaneous nerve of arm and forearm is also paralyzed. So your hand's deformity is claw-like hand. See, the nerves which are supplying your hand are medial, ulnar and radial nerves. When these nerves are damaged, your hand is not going to be in a proper way. So while these nerves are damaged, your hand will be having a deformity called as claw-like deformity. So these are the major injuries causing to your brachial plexus. In my further videos, I'll explain you each of these nerves and those injuries and treatment protocols. And thank you so much for watching my video. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. And in my further videos, upcoming videos, I'll explain you the remaining things related to brachial plexus. Thank you.